Get ready. It's time for a well-deserved break, Pittsburgh, with Heather Abraham and David Highfield from the KDKA TV studios. It's Pittsburgh Today Live.
Hey everyone, it is Monday and we thank you for joining us. The weekend kind of flew by and it's so nice to have you back. I know a lot of viewers, they questioned us on Friday, they wrote in for the Friday free-for-all. Where's Heather?
Yeah, I know. It was an off week, and it's hard to talk about, but we had a very sudden and unexpected family death. My cousin Victoria, she was loved by her entire family so deeply, and she loved her family so deeply, but she just gave back. She was such a caring person. She was a nurse, gave back in that way. She also did so much for the Alzheimer's Foundation of Greater Pennsylvania, which I know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's near and dear to my heart.
Right, and it had affected my grandfather as well. And I don't know, losing a child, if there's any comfort that can be found, but my Aunt Terry and my Uncle Rob, who are my godparents too, and you know I'm extremely close with them.
You are very close.
I think if there was any comfort in any of this, they had so many people come out, reach out, and tell just fantastic stories about how Victoria had touched their lives. Even a patient that she cared for in one of the hospitals.
People that they didn't know beforehand, but they got to hear the wonderful work that she was able to do.
And I think that speaks to, you know, our jobs as parents. We don't often know that other side of our kids' lives because they're different people around their friends and their families, at their jobs. So I think to hear some of those stories about how she touched others and how much work she did to give back to others was just provided at least a small amount of comfort to them. So because we were grieving, I decided to take PTL off last week. It just didn't feel like I would be true to myself to be here and laughing and having fun like we do every day. And so I was happy to have Mikey and Selena do the job for me last week.
Well, you know, my heart goes out to your family and your Aunt Terry, and she's wonderful. And, you know, you all have been in our thoughts and prayers, and I'm sure all our viewers too, now that they know what you've been going through. But we are glad that you are back,
Thank you,
with
David.
us.
Yeah, a lot of healing ahead, but I think I just told my aunt, find a little bit of joy for yourself every day, just a little bit, even if it's a cup of tea in the morning. So it'll be baby steps and a lot of healing ahead, but yeah.
Well, we are glad you're back, and I'm sure lots of viewers are too.
Thanks, David.
All right, we want to talk about Father's Day because, you know, lots of people celebrated Dad yesterday, and this was an interesting survey in the New York Post. So the bottom line is apparently that you become your dad at about age 37.
I think that sounds about right.
Is that okay? Well, they asked a lot of questions. This was actually done by Omaha Steaks. Like, when did they get into doing polls and studies and things?
And how official is this?
Right, like how good is this information? But this was interesting, what they came up with. 68% of people surveyed said they feel more like their father with every passing year. 37% say they take grilling very seriously because of their dad.
There's the Omaha Steaks.
And here's the 22% mute commercials because of their dad.
Learned behavior.
Learned behavior. And you know, and I will say there are things that I do, like mannerisms that my dad does that I don't even consciously do. Like if you lay down on, is it lay down or lie down? See, I've forgotten already. We learned this last week and now I forgot.
I've already forgotten too, don't worry.
But if you're down on the couch for a nap and like he'll put his feet together and just rub them together, and I do the same exact thing. And it's like stuff like that. It's kind of neat, actually.
Well, you know, I hear Frankie saying things. Now, I don't know what his dad said while they were growing up, but I hear things that he says that sound so much like
his dad.
Like a dad, too. Like, what are we, heating the outside if somebody leaves the door open?
That's such a good dad quote.
Things like that where you're like, come on, who are you? Who are you?
All of that stuff.
Yeah.
So apparently you become your dad at 37. All right, we have something adorable to share. Now, we showed this video of Sunny, your daughter, in this mannerism that she does.
Yeah, when she gets upset, she humps.
Right. Oh, she's very good at it. She is very good.
And obviously you can tell we have a dog, judging by the stains in our yard. But yeah, this is something that she does at least a couple times a day, I would say.
So if you were Chris, noticed this, and then saw something that reminded him of Sunny. So we have a picture of that, what Chris sent in. We don't want to give it away until we see it, but here it is.
Yeah.
So this squirrel
Yeah.
may have been to your backyard and exactly copying Sonny's move.
I think so. And I wonder what he's humping about.
Who knows?
Did someone dig up his peanut that he had buried and now he's
Exactly.
mad about it?
Or maybe
Someone's not sharing, perhaps? Not playing Barbies with them?
that could be.
Something along those
That
lines.
squirrel's probably in your backyard somewhere. All right, from squirrels to cats, we want to show this video again because we love it. And we also want to remind you that Row House Cinema in Lawrenceville started this over the weekend. Sean Collier talked about this. So this was all their idea, and it's to help independent cinemas all across the country. So you pay online to watch this. It's a hilarious cat video. And it goes on and on and on.
Like a compilation of different cats doing wild and crazy things.
Right. And it's really so when Sean was on Thursday, he was talking about it, and none of us heard anything that he said because we were just watching the cats. We were like, oh, are you done talking? Oh,
they're so funny.
Show us more cats. So anyhow, you can log on to Row House Cinema, and it'll benefit them in Lawrenceville.
I want to wait to see the end of this one.
I know, what's, oh!
Good, I'm glad we stuck around.
Yeah, all right. And speaking of cats, we have a story that is just so heartwarming and comfy, cozy. So at the Humane Animal Rescue, there's a volunteer named Suzanne. And she has hand crocheted 109 blankets and 50 pillows for the cats there. She wanted to beat last year's total of 70 blankets, which she easily did. And look at the little kitty cat enjoying one of the blankets that she made.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, we just wanted to give Suzanne a shout out.
That's fantastic.
Those animals need to be as comfortable as they can.
They
in the
need
shelter.
some love. Yeah. Oh, so nice. All right, well, David, what did you do this weekend? It's time for our Weekend Rewind.
Time for the Weekend Rewind. And you know what? Of course, we celebrated Father's Day, so I went up to see my dad. And this has changed too because just a few weeks ago, I would go in and I would dart in, put food in his refrigerator, wave to him because I was scared to get near him, and then just dart right out. And we still keep our distance because I just want to make sure that he's safe. But here's a picture from him yesterday, and he's wearing his hat. He doesn't golf, but we told him that if he takes up golfing, he should wear that hat.
He looks like a golfer.
Yeah, I think he could.
Very handsome.
He could take that up.
Well, and I know that he loves and appreciates your visits so much.
Oh, well, I'm so lucky to have him. But we also, yesterday, someone else I'm lucky to have, Gary, my husband, because he has become my cameraman when we are taping segments later today in the show. We're going to show me making this peach burrata arugula salad.
I cannot wait for
we have an outtake. We have a blooper that shows you some of the tension that happens only during these tapings, really. And it's because, he sort of, at CMU, he directs musical theater, he directs students.
So he's directing you.
He's directing me.
And you don't take directions well?
Well, I'm used to directing myself, sort of, when it comes to a segment, so we're sort of anyhow, watch. There we go. Back up a minute.
Okay.
All right, so we're just done the arugula.
Well, what? Tell me when to roll.
Yeah, you can roll now.
Okay,
Yeah.
don't just start talking.
Well, no, I'm just talking.
You're cameraman. I would hate you if I worked for you.
Are we getting this? Okay, are we rolling?
No.
Let's roll.
You have to let me know.
Well, I wasn't starting to talk for the thing. I was just talking through what we're doing.
Chatty Cathy.
Okay.
This would make a really good blooper. But you need to.
It
needs to look like we're in the same space we were before. So hang on.
That
So this went on
gold.
for a while, and I debated whether to show it, and Gary was like, okay, I showed it to Jill this morning, and she was like, because I don't want people to think that we're sniping at each other.
Do you not think this happens to every single couple everywhere?
Well, and normally couples aren't trying to tape a television segment.
No.
So this went on, and so that's a secondary camera that I had up. I actually have it on a selfie stick stuck in an empty vodka bottle, and that's how you get that second view. But anyhow, it captured all the bloopers.
That reminds me, the movie The Breakup, where Vince Vaughn says, yeah, I got you your lemons. And she says, well, baby wanted 12 lemons. And he said, well, I got you 3 lemons. And anyways, long story
I think
short,
you told me this before.
every couple bickers like that. I
Right.
love seeing that behind the scenes look.
All right. Well, there's a lot more of it, Heather.
Thank
I'll
you,
show it to
Gary.
you later on my phone.
Gary, keeping you honest there. You have to tell me to roll. I love when he says, I would hate being your cameraman.
Just very honest right there in that moment. All right, and you also celebrated a father. You
We
celebrated
did.
Frankie,
We
right?
celebrated Frankie. He really is such a wonderful father. Every night he takes the kids to the park or the playground. Every night he reads the girls a bedtime story. So I got him this book. This is a company that will kind of insert your kids into these short little bedtime stories. So this is called The Adventures of Rocco, Lila, and Sonny. And so I thought this would be really cute.
Sweet.
Because every night he reads to them at night. And
What a wonderful bonding thing for them. Like when they grow up and they think back about bedtime and their dad reading to them, that's fantastic.
Here's the thing, my kids don't know any different. But I don't think they know how lucky they are to have him as a dad, because they really don't. This is the family that they have.
Right.
So, but they really are blessed to have him as a dad, for sure. And
Good
then,
job, Frankie.
I attempted Eggs Benedict for breakfast.
You say attempt.
Well, this is how it turned out, and I think it turned out okay.
It looks delicious.
Homemade hollandaise sauce is very hard. I found a video on TikTok and on Instagram that showed me how to make a poached egg, because I'd never poached an egg before.
I have never poached an egg either.
So-
but it looks like fun because you put it in boiling water, right?
Yeah, little trick. Again, it worked for me a little bit, but you take a ladle. You have your boiling hot water. You take a ladle, you scoop up the boiling water, you take your already cracked egg, which is in a bowl, dump it in the ladle, and then kind of put the ladle back into the boiling water until
okay.
it slightly cooks, and then I
You don't
dump
just
mine
plop
back in.
the egg into the boiling water.
Because then you get all those little wispies.
Oh.
Thank you once
See?
again to social media for showing me the way.
YouTube to the rescue.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have one more thing we want to share with you.
Oh, we do?
The posters at the bus stops explaining social distancing.
Yeah.
These are so Pittsburgh. And so they call it a Yinzer Guide. It's from the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. And so it teaches everyone what 6 feet apart is. And it's hard to see on this because the picture's small. But on the top line, they have 24 ketchup bottles, because that's 6 feet. Apparently they did the math. 3 terrible towels stretched out, that's 6 feet. 4 Stanley cups or 4 parking chairs.
It's very relatable, but unless you have those items with, like, excuse me, sir,
don't-
let me pull out my 24 ketchup bottles to place them in between us. Okay, we're good.
But you could do that at home and sort of get a guesstimate, and then you
guess
could
you're right.
apply it later on. All right. See what we've learned here today?
I have 4 parking chairs just in my back pocket. It's fine.
All right, time for a quick break because we could keep talking, but we have some guests waiting their turn to talk, so we should get to them. Up next, the Heinz History Center is about to reopen with a cool new exhibit. The History Center's Andy Masick tells us what we can see there.
Plus, you saw behind the scenes of the making of David's salad recipe. Coming up, we get to see the finished product, no bloopers, so you can try this yourself.
And on this first week of summer, we thought we should celebrate with ice cream.
Yes.
Mikey Hood introduces us to the newest scoop shop in town and see what makes it and its young owners so special.
Plus, we're keeping an eye on some stormy weather today. Ron Smiley has the latest on that for us ahead on this Monday, June 22nd, 2020. Thanks for being with us.